So we'll all say something, and she doesn't want it focused on her. But you can have a sentence at the end, she said. The rest of it can be about Krishna consciousness. Just recently, this is, it's wonderful because we're just following, tomorrow is the appearance of Sita Devi. So, what could be better than Mother Kulangana is following in the footsteps of Sita Devi. Just the day before, so I was just contemplating on that. And just a few days ago we had Akshaya Tritiya, yes? On the Sunday itself, Akshaya Tritiya. So that's wonderful as well. In reflecting on Akshaya Tritiya, just some amazing things that happen on Akshaya Tritiya for all of us. It's the day that Treta Yuga begins. You have Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. Kali, like these are the 4 yugas. So Akshaya Tritiya, it's the day that Kali Yuga, it begins. So very auspicious time. And what is the method for understanding God in Treta Yuga? Anyone? Treta Yuga, yeah. Tretayam Jagato Makai. So it's yajna. So if you're going to have yajna, then you cannot have yajna unless there is barley. So barley came into existence on Akshaya Tritiya. It didn't exist before then. Lord Brahma went, okay, there's going to be oven, we need barley, so let us create barley. It didn't exist before then. So that was an interesting principle as well. Akshaya Tritiya also marks the time when Vyas, he said, I have to write the Mahabharata, but I will wait for the auspicious time. So he waited till the day of Akshaya Tritiya and he begins to write the Mahabharata at that time. So again, a very auspicious time, which occurs just there at Akshaya Tritiya. And of course, Mahabharata is very long, as you know the pastime, all of you. And how many verses in Mahabharata? 100,000. 100,000 verses, which are there in the Mahabharata. And the biggest poem in the West is which one, you think? Biggest poem?
The Odyssey.
Yeah, the Iliad, Homer's writings, Iliad and Odyssey. And that just comes up to 40,000. 40,000 if you add up all the couplets of Iliad and Odyssey. But Mahabharata is even bigger. 100,000, imagine that. And of course, as you know, Vyasa is not writing, he's narrating, but he needed someone to write, so who's writing? Ganesh. And Ganesh is writing all the Vedic scriptures. So it's described that whenever Vyasa had an agreement with Ganesh that I'll write as long as you don't stop. A little bit like Mother Kulangana's life, Don't stop, keep going. I'm throwing in these little things so she doesn't think I'm breaking my agreement, you see. Not to speak about it. So don't stop. So Ganesh said, okay, you keep going, I'll keep writing as long as you keep speaking. So then Vyasa thought, but wait a minute. What when I want to go and have a shower or go to the bathroom? So he said, okay, I know, I'll throw in some pastimes which he will not understand, or some philosophy. So he said, Ganesh, so long as you understand what I'm saying, I'll carry on narrating. When you don't understand, let me know, I'll stop then. I'll stop at that stage. So then Ganesh said, okay, I agree with that. That is a good agreement. So whenever in the Vedic literatures you find one of these stories or some point which is difficult, that's when there was a bathroom break. There was a bathroom break at that time. But no breaks here for Mother Kulangana. No breaks. No breaks at all of any kind. So anyway, Mahabharata, that's also Akshaya Tritiya. And it's the appearance of Parshuram as well. We don't speak about Parshuram or his life so much, but he appears on that day as well. It's also the day that Badrik Ashram, it opens. Badrik Ashram, as you know, is the Char Dham. And what they do at the end of the season, they light a lamp for Lord Badrinath, because the snows come in and you can't stay there anymore. The priest can't even stay there anymore. It's that difficult to stay there. So they all go away and they light this lamp. And they say that on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, when they open the temple of Badrik Ashram, the lamp is still lit. It remains there at that time. So amazing. So it opens officially on that day as well. It is also the time when Sudama, he was told, you go and visit Krishna, but don't go any day, go on the day of Akshaya Tritiya. Because Krishna will be very happy. It's not inauspicious at all. So that is the day that Sudama, he visits Krishna. And it's a good day. We all are visiting Mother Kulangana today as well, on that day. It is also the day that it is described that Draupadi, she was thinking, how am I going to cook for everyone in the forest? So of course the sun god, he came and he said, I will give you a little gift. Because in the forest, I don't know who will come, but at least Bhima, he eats a lot. So he gave a pot, golden pot. And it was called, anyone know the name of the pot? Akshaya Patra. The pot. And the benediction was, doesn't matter how many people you have at your home that come as guests, this pot will be unending with amazing amounts of delicacies. But as soon as you eat, then it will not produce any more for that day. As you know, that's a great benediction. And of course, as you know, the great story, Durvasa comes with 60,000 disciples of his, because Duryodhana said, go and visit. So this whole pot was there, of course, with everyone. And she had, of course, eaten that day. But Krishna says, is there anything left in the pot? And just little grain was left. And Krishna said, if I just take that little grain, then Durvasa and everyone will be satisfied. So here at Bhakti Center, they have the same thing. They have an Akshaya Patra here as well. And Radhakanta has one of these pots here. And Mother Kulangana has given him that pot. That whoever comes here will always have so much sumptuous prasadam. And I know Radhakanta has been eating. And he has been cooking all week, so we want to make sure we are not late for the feast as well. So that also is on this occasion. There are many other... yes?
Everything is cooked in ghee.
Did you all hear that? Everything is cooked in ghee. So there we are. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. There you are. Radhakanta Prabhu, what can we say? And today is also a day that, or Akshaya Tritiya day, is the day when they, you can have darshan of one deity of Nishingadev. Anyone know that deity? Where do you go?
Simhachalam.
Simhachalam. Simhachalam, of course, is the deity. When Prahlad Maharaj, he was thrown off the cliff and Nishingadev saved him. And where did he save him? At the top of the cliff? Middle of the cliff?
Underneath.
Just before he fell into the sea. And you know, it's often we say, why Krishna doesn't come right now in my life to help me? I have so many problems and I'm such a good devotee. Why doesn't he come right at the beginning? Krishna comes just before you hit the bottom. Isn't it? Just as the Shingadevi appeared just when he hits the bottom. But Prahlad did not complain, why did you come right at the bottom? But we are the people who always complain, why Krishna came at the last minute in my life, you know? So you can be sure that whatever your issues are, Mother Kulangana doesn't come right at the bottom, she comes right at the top. Just when your problems begin in life. Radhakanta, true? Just when your problems begin, Mother Kulangana will always be there. But Krishna is a little different, he comes right at the end. That's why Krishna says that greater than him are his devotees. Because his devotees are always there to be with us in whichever capacity there is. They're always with us. So
Just would like to say that I completely don't deserve all that glorification. That is only by complete mercy of a devotee that I make any tangible progress in spiritual life. And that is inconceivable mercy, completely inconceivable, born nitai upon me. And also, I would like to say that this is also incredible mercy of Radhakanta, because he's shown so much compassion, so much service to help me, to elevate me. He is such a merciful person. And here is his mother, Shruti Dam. Last time he told me, not so long time ago, he says, Srila Prabhupada said that we all go back to Godhead or none of us. Is true, Shruti Dam?
Prabhupada had said that either we are all going back home, back together, to Godhead all together, or we're not going at all. Conversation we had.
Thank you very much for your support.
Mother Kulangana would always talk about gratitude to me, that she's so grateful for everything she's had. You know, imagine coming to Krishna consciousness at the age of 39 when she joined, 39. And now she's 85, you know. 46 years in Krishna consciousness. Some of us are not even 40, what to speak of 46 years in Krishna consciousness. I'm always thinking, and she's grateful to Radhakanta Prabhu and his mother and the entire family, because she says that if we are not grateful, we will in due course become grateful. The famous words. Famous
You
words.
hate me. You.
Isn't it? Just the Shingadevi appeared just when he hits the bottom. But Prahlad did not complain, why did you come right at the bottom? But we are the people who always complain, why Krishna came at the last minute in my life, you know? So you can be sure that whatever your issues are, Mother Kulangana doesn't come right at the bottom, she comes right at the top. Just when your problems begin in life. Radhakanta, true? Just when your problems begin, Mother Kulangana will always be there. But Krishna is a little different, he comes right at the end. That's why Krishna says that greater than him are his devotees. Because his devotees are always there to be with us in whichever capacity there is. They're always with us. So that is another thing that happens on that occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, that we can meditate on for Mother Kulangana. We're having more and more devotees that come. Mother Shikama, please come in as well. And we also have with us His Grace Braj Bihari Prabhu. I'm not going to take up time because what we want to do is we want to try and eat prasadam. Is that right? You want to cut the cake at 1 and we. So I will request Mother Jagannatheshwari. And maybe what we do is, maybe wherever we seated, we speak from there. That might help as well. Then Mother Kulangana doesn't feel like much going on in that way. Otherwise, I know she is in great anxiety and it's not good for her. She's been in anxiety for nearly a week that I don't want anyone speaking about me, but they can speak about Krishna. So we've done it in a different way here. And wherever you are, please speak from them. We'll move the camera around and you can film it from them.
Yasa Puja Ki. So we go back, we joined Bhakti Manor in 79 or 80. And Mother Kulangana has been at the manor ever since we joined. Amongst many wonderful, outstanding qualities. This devotee is to execute the process of Krishna consciousness. Mother Kulangana, in her simplicity, the essence of all our scriptures brings the devotee to understand how I should serve Krishna. And Prabhupada has given us the process. Srila Prabhupada has given us the process. You chant your 16 rounds, you follow the regulated principles, and serve. You serve the mission. And I remember when we joined as brahmacharis, we all brahmacharis, we never had job descriptions and you had to, you need a sabbatical break, you needed a break here. We never had anything like that. We were told to just go ahead and just do. Go out and distribute books, go out and collect money, go out and do this, and that's the way Krishna consciousness was in those early days. And Mother Kulangana, for me, actually, she exemplifies someone who actually, this is the result of practicing Krishna consciousness according to Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Being simple, at her age, she is outgunning and outrunning every single one here, every single one of us. Who gets up at 2 o'clock or 1:30 in the morning, is out there making her Bangalati sweet, she'll be there for japa, she'll be there for the morning program, she'll be there for breakfast, she'll be there, she does, but the essence that she is simply keeping to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And this is the result. That here we have a wonderful Krishna conscious devotee, and a devotee who is uncomplicated. He hasn't got mental problems. Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness is simple for those who want to be simple, and complicated for those who want it to be complicated. Here is an example living amongst us, a result of practicing Krishna consciousness in a very simple heart, and this is the result of someone who all of us know only speaks of Krishna day in and day out. Not only that she speaks Krishna, but she lives Krishna, she breathes Krishna, and she serves Krishna. Mother Kulangana ki?
I first met Mother Kulangana in the Rath Yatra parade in 1985, and I was a fired up whatever I was then, and I was in the middle of it was Rishi Chaitanya Prabhu. Everybody was going mad, and we were all rah, 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 rah. And suddenly I looked at the side at one point, and I saw this lady in white, and she was reading the Bhagavatam. I thought, that's weird. Excuse me, I didn't know. But I thought everybody should be dancing and chanting, but she was reading the Bhagavatam about Lord Jagannath. And she was just like looking like this and just looking at this. And I thought, well, it takes all types to make the Hare Krishna movement. I was thinking that we were like, what's her problem? Why is she doing that? She just joined in. But she was actually joining in a way that I didn't understand and or appreciate. And of course, over the years, we've seen this incredible service nature that she has, and this depth of being, and it shines through everything that she does. Everything is purposeful and amazing and wonderful. And I know it's embarrassing for her to hear that, but she really took us under her wing in her own way as well. Myself, my wife, Garangi, the family, and I was really attracted to Krishna consciousness because it was the only religion that I could feel that I could continue doing something musically in and try to engage my skills. I remember one night a Jehovah's Witness came to our door and they were talking and he says, "I've given up my guitar for Jehovah." And I said, "Well, I've just taken up the drums for Krishna." So please, I really appreciated the fact that Jehovah's Witnesses, they're great people and they really are so committed to what they're doing. Wonderful, but thank God that thank Jehovah that I wasn't one, because you have to give everything up like that. And so over the years I've made these recordings. Mother Kulangana, because I was so shocked because she's so, if you like, staunch, but at the same time she's so broad that she would even like my music. And she used to put my music on when they were making Mangalati sweets. I was just amazed one time, on a rare occasion that I came to Mangalati. I heard my music playing earlier than that, and I thought, who's that? And there was Mother Kulangana doing her stuff, playing away. And I was so grateful that I was actually getting some service like that, pleasing the devotees, hopefully pleasing Krishna. And then, so every time I had a new tape out, I'd give her one. And then she'd go back and say, "Oh, Jayadev, it's wonderful like that." And this one day I came, after a few years, I got this new CD and I thought, she's going to really like this one. And I gave it to her. And I saw her about a week later and she said, "Jayadev?" And I said, "What, Mother Kulanga?" And she said, "I think you need to wash some pots in the kitchen." And I said, "Why? I mean, I don't mind doing some pots, but why?" She went, "Too much false ego on this one." It was so good. And I thought, she's my true friend. She's my true friend, because I thought everything was just like, I just give it to her, and yeah, and this one, like, yeah, and this one, no. So she was so kind to help me to actually understand that not everything I did was great. In fact, it was far from great, and it was so. I knew from that day that she was my dear friend. And I knew that she was the dearest friend to all the devotees, because all of us, as you were saying, she tipped you off before, the tipping point came. She just had something to let you know. Some super soul works so efficiently in her, because she's not in the way. And so I want to thank Mother Kulangana and I also want to ask someone, or maybe the ladies, please, when we read the stories, Mother Kulangana, you're not listening to this bit. When we read stories of saints and that, it's such an edifying experience, isn't it? Yes. Both in our tradition and outside of it, in the Christian saints, they compile all these stories and all these things, and just, because in a few years' time, the devotees will be going back to Goloka, and there'll be people who need to read about these characters who lived. And what a person she is.
Jai Prabhu Mother Kulangana Mata Ji ki
Jai. This is exactly what my spiritual master told me, Radhana Swami Maharaj, when I came to England for the first time in 2005, 12 years ago. So I asked him, "Maharaj, do you have any instructions for me?" He said, "Remember, you are going to a holy place of pilgrimage. Bhakti Manor is a holy place of pilgrimage. And what makes a place of pilgrimage?" He asked me. And I didn't say anything to him, because I knew he was going to say something profound. He said, a place becomes a place of pilgrimage because of the saints who live there. And then, in a very serious face, with deep, I could see he was feeling a deep sense of gratitude. He began to appreciate Mother Kulangana. He said, "You have never seen her, you have never met her, but you are going to see her there in the Mangalarati. You are going to honor Mahaprasad sweets made by her. So be very grateful for this opportunity that you are going to a dham. And I came with that impression, and as soon as I came to the manor in 2005, it was minus 4 degrees, January. I had never experienced any winter less than 20 degrees Celsius. And I was, to be honest, I was a little shaken and I was not very comfortable. And then I came for the Mangalarati at 4:15 and I saw Mother Kulangana and I saw her so ecstatic, not only dancing in the kirtan, but she told me how she was hearing this class of Maharaj and how actually speaking, hearing Gaur Leela. It was playing loud and I could see her enthusiasm and I completely got sobered, humbled and also inspired at the same time. And I went back and thanked my Guru Maharaj for this experience. And I want to honestly confess in this assembly that I had one experience which I always wanted to tell Mother Kulangana, and I'm happy that I'm getting a chance to say this. When I first saw her, I remembered my childhood. Because when we are children, we are actually innocent and we are kind of pure before all the nonsense that we have done comes back to us. Because I grew up in a small town where there were many sannyasis. But it's very interesting, in the Vedic culture, the sannyasis are honored, they are the face of the society, they carry a lot of respect wherever they go. And I would also see that in my village, when the boys would be given sannyas at the age of 7 or 8. And they would remain sannyasis till the age of 85, 90 when they would actually leave the body. So practically their whole life they would lead a very pure life, they would be respected, highly honored. But when I would see the sannyas ceremonies there, this young boy would be sitting. And when you would get sannyas in the ceremony, everyone would come, the whole village would come and offer obeisances to that sannyasi. Actually that young boy, because it requires a lot of courage and a lot of courage to give up everything, to renounce the world is not easy. And then even his father would come and offer obeisances to him. And that was a very it's an amazing sight. But one person won't offer obeisances to him, and that is his mother. And in fact, she carried so much gravity, she carried so much power and purity, just and when the sannyas would walk, people would make way. And when his mother would come, she would also get the same respect. So in the Vedic culture, the mother and the sannyasis both are treated as at par. In fact, the mother is given a higher position than the sannyasis because of her dedication, purity, sacrifice. And when you hear someone is here for 46, 47 years and just serving in the background, they may not have an official title of a guru, they may not be giving big discourses, but I think a community is a community because of such powerful, pure spiritual personalities. And I offer my head at the lotus feet of Mother Kulangana. I seek your blessings. I remember one more verse, can I just say that? Just 2 minutes. Because this is a verse spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Vidura, which I feel is very appropriate for Mother Kulangana. He says, Bhavad Vida Bhagavati Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadavrita. He's telling Vidura that Bhavad Vida Bhagavatis, a holy place has become a holy place because Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, because you have come here and you have the potency to convert any place to a place of pilgrimage. Because Swantastena Gadavrita, you are carrying the Lord in your heart. So a devotee who carries the Lord in his heart or her heart, that person is a holy place personified. Generally we think a place is a place in a geographic area. But Vidura is being told by Yudhishthira Maharaj that a devotee who carries Krishna in his heart, he is a personified holy place. Because he can convert an ordinary place into a holy place. That's why we say New York is a holy place for devotees, because Prabhupada went there and he converted that. And that's why that tree is still there and devotees do parikrama of that tree. Similarly, I personally strongly feel that with such wonderful souls like Mother Kulangana, this whole London is purified. And I want to thank you, Mataji. I remember one more verse, last verse. Kapiladev tells, Prasangam ajaram pasham kavayo atmano vidu saeva sadhusho kruto mokshadvaram apavrutam. He says that these material attachments are extremely bad. Prasangam ajaram pasham. They are like a noose that ties our neck and it suffocates us and chokes us to suffering, unlimited suffering. And this is not declared by me, says Kapila Devi. He says, Kavayo Atmano Vidu. Great souls have declared this. But there is a way out. Prasangam ajaram pasham kavayo atmano vidu. If we transfer that same attachment to Saiva Sadhusho Kruto, the same attachment if we can transfer to wonderful saintly devotees, Moksha Dvaram Apavritam, we will be liberated from all material suffering and material attachment. So we are so blessed, Mother Kulangana, that we are getting this I feel I'm so blessed I'm getting an opportunity to be a part of this program and to attend this program. And I can only remember one line of Bhakti Vinod Thakur now as I'm sitting in front of you. He says to a Vaishnav Thakur, which I would like to tell you also, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache, amito kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, daita pache pache. While glorifying a Vaishnava, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Krishna se tomar, you have Krishna. Krishna dite paro, you can give Krishna. Because tomara shakati ache, you have the potency to fill everybody's heart with love for Krishna. Amito kangal, I am simply a beggar. I can only run behind you, tai dava pache pache, saying Krishna Krishna. So Mother Kulangana, I offer my sincere prayers to your lotus feet. I beg for mercy, and I hope I can serve my Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada the same way that you have shown by your sterling example. Mother Kulangana ki
Whenever I read Srila Prabhupada's books, usually that's what I take, and that is always to keep the association of advanced devotees. And so when I was invited, my wife she kept saying, "Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming?" We're celebrating Mother Kulangana's appearance today in Harrow. And I was always very reluctant because that's my nature. I resist Krishna consciousness like anything. But because I know that if I come into a room where there's Mother Kulangana, then I can make some advancement. So the reason I'm here today is very selfish. I've known Mother Kulangana directly or indirectly for many years. When I was a young boy and I came to Krishna consciousness in London, in Berry Place, I can remember Mother Kulangana not so very long after I joined. She became a familiar face to me. And then, as now, she was as enthusiastic to chant and dance and talk about Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. So whenever I was around Mother Kulangana, even as a young boy, I always became very encouraged. And I always believed that Krishna consciousness could be a lot of fun and that I could enjoy myself just as much as I thought I was enjoying myself in the material world before I came to Krishna consciousness. So even to this day, she always seems as enthusiastic as she ever was to please Srila Prabhupada and to distribute Krishna consciousness. So, a happy birthday.
Came to know Mother Kulangana in '99. I was in Vrindavan. I got the Maha Sweets. So I know that somebody, Mother Kulangana, is there in a manner. So when I came here 2000, so I met with Mother Kulangana and we had a little bit conversation, discussion, and a lot of blessing from Mother Kulangana from the beginning. Although Mother Kulangana thinks that everyone is already elevated, and that's why they are practicing Krishna consciousness. But to be very honest, it's still our beginning, and devotee like Mother Kulangana's blessings are always very important and very necessary on the path of devotion. Mother Kulangana is time to time always guiding us in our line of devotion. She is always kind, always careful. She will always try to help you whenever you need. You go to her and she will always give you the blessing and do the right things. She will always tell. and she knows what is the right thing because she is here for a long time. She knows what is the best thing for the temple as well as for us in our devotion. Being here last 46 years, we do not need to explain more about her experience and her life in Krishna consciousness. Always there will be example. If there is any question we do ask, then there will be answers all based on either Prabhupada or Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So that's a wonderful characteristics of the Vaishnavas, and especially a senior Vaishnava like Mother Kulangana. I would like to request, hope you will bless me forever, that I will go home back to Godhead by your blessings. Thank you. Bye.
Very dear god sister, and she's a great warrior, always fixed in her vows, and a great example for everyone. I can't think of any other, like of all Prabhupada's lady disciples, that she's the only one I know who's just stayed in the same place in the Brahmacharini ashram for her whole life without wavering, and just very, very fixed. So she's a great inspiration. And it's also thanks to the management of Bhaktivedanta Manor that they've taken good care of her. They've given her a private room so that she can be comfortable, and also thanks to all the devotees here for looking after her, especially Radhakanta Guru, who's taking such good care of her.
The Kulangana, also 30 years ago, I was one of the first devotees in those days to get cancer, because it wasn't such a known thing then. And who was one of the first to come to my bedside? Mother Kulangana was there, armed with Bhagavatam, as usual. And I'm very, very grateful for the love and care of these two amazing devotees. I'm really happy to be here to honour them both.
Generally, the birthday is a normal day in someone's life, and it's very important for a material person. But in our Krishna conscious movement, of course, the appearance day of a Vaishnavi is also very celebrated, and a wonderful day to glorify these devotees and to appreciate their existence, actually, what they have done and given to us, So Mother Kulangana, she's our mother and guru of the ashram, of the ladies' ashram, and we are all very fortunate to live with her together on such a close environment, actually, and to benefit from her association greatly. And maybe I should really ask also forgiveness for any offenses we are committing at some times during our ashram life, me and maybe also other devotees, because of course the age and we are younger, and so there are some uncomfortable situations maybe sometimes. But Mother Kulangana is very, very caring and loving to all of us, and really extending herself, and and she's such an example of seeing a person aging in Krishna consciousness, so that we can really be very positive in this regard also, when we just stick to Prabhupada's teaching and keeping up with a good sadhana and strong determination and association of devotees, so there is a good chance to always be Krishna conscious, how she is giving this amazing example. And and giving her love and her care at all times, And it's really, we are very blessed. We are blessed and fortunate to be with her, and help her. and to get a little bit of service to do sometimes here and there. There are so many devotees we can share now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So thank you very much, Mother Kulangana.
This situation that we now have to be amongst all these loving devotees in this wonderful community was only by your mercy. It was 10 years ago when me and my husband came here and you provided us with everything, situation, a service for my husband. And any calamity there was, we were not having a place to stay. She would always go and help us come out of her way to arrange for us a place to stay, a service. I remember many years ago, there's so many instances, probably I won't bore you to explain all of them, but so many instances. I used to feel a little depressed in the very beginning I came. She said, you should go to India, you should take a Bhakti Shastri course. She would pay all my expenses to do that. Also, the main thing I feel is whenever we come to the temple, there is always a person who loves us. I know that if I go to the ashram, to the ladies' Kulangana, will always be there in her room, always happy to see me. One of the very few people that I could open my heart to. She would come and read to me Bhagavatam or try to chop some vegetables. She's been so encouraging through all these years, and I have a very great appreciation and gratitude, Mother. Without you, I'll be nowhere. Thank you for tolerating me and my husband's faults, and thank you, please, just always in our association.
Unbelievable. Anyway, please accept my humble obeisances and happy. For Mother Kulangana, what can I say? For me, I have been coming here in manner ever since I came in this country on Sundays. But I really never wanted to go into any deeper until she picked me up. I always come in on a Sunday and Sunday feast, children, and then go home. But 92 onwards, she actually, I would sit in a quiet place and she picked me up. And she said, come, she would give me of her Mahaprasadam, and then do garlands, and then she come up there. If I'm not singing, if I'm just singing in my own mind, she would come and say, no, bring harmonium and start singing. So practically, and she would also come and sit by me when I'm hearing class, Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita. She would come and check with me, saying that, what have you heard? Can you tell me what was all about in the class? So just, there are so many incidents like this, in this way. She practically, influenced me in so much, because I was not really coming in straight away to join in the Krishna consciousness, but because of her, I felt, no, this is something beyond, in here. But because Mother Kulangana, every aspect of Krishna consciousness, she helped me so much. And whatever little tiny service I'm doing is because of her. Mother Kulangana, please accept my also humble obeisances and very many happy birthday to you. For Mother Kulangana, what can I say? For me, I have been coming here in manner ever since I came in this country on Sundays. But I really never wanted to go into any deeper until she picked me up. I always come in on a Sunday and Sunday feast, children, and then go home. But 92 onwards, she actually, I would sit in a quiet place and she picked me up. And she said, come, she would give me of her Mahaprasadam, and then do garlands, and then she come up there. If I'm not singing, if I'm just singing in my own mind, she would come and say, no, bring harmonium and start singing. So practically, and she would also come and sit by me when I'm hearing class, Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita. She would come and check with me, saying that, what have you heard? Can you tell me what was all about in the class?
So just there are so many incidents like this. In this way, she practically, influenced me in so much, because I was not really coming in straight away to join in the Krishna consciousness, but because of her, I felt, no, this is something beyond, in here. But because Mother Kulangana, every aspect of Krishna consciousness, she helped me so much. And whatever little tiny service I'm doing is because of her. Mother Kulangana, please accept my also humble obeisances and very many happy birthday to you.
The doors opened for me, and first instruction she gave me, to be able to make mango sweets, you need love and patience. So that is very nice instruction that I received from her, and I try to follow these instructions as much as possible. And often also, as Shruti Dharma Prabhu was saying, that she is one of those persons who will inform you before you get to the trouble. So anytime she will teach me some of the secrets of the sweets making, she will inform me first what not to do. What is the danger if I do that, what dangers may come. Which is very, very special instruction, not often you get. Normally you know about the problems after, when you do them. She is very kind. She is one of these persons which will help us before we fell from the cliff. And as kind is her heart, of course, even I was for some time away from England, she was always in my heart, and that made me actually to be back. And one of the time when I remember her was while in one class we were listening, one devotee was explaining about the kindness and forgiving heart of the Queen of England, which was a case that some not good person was brought in front of her to decide what to happen. Oh, the claim was that he has to be executed, he has to be killed actually. And the Queen asked this person who was claiming for the death of this, whatever robber or whatever he was. And she asked them, is there anything good he has done in his life? I heard all bad things he has done. And is there any good thing he has done? And they told it when they turned, they say, yes, he was actually good to his family. And she said that I forgive them. And that moment immediately thought come my mind, that's my Mother Kulangana. She is like that. She always looking for the good things in people. And even though it's difficult sometimes to find, she will find. And she will glorify that. And help the person to come out and to do his best for Krishna. This is a very wonderful characteristic that I really much appreciate from her. And as kind-hearted and caring Krishna in her heart she is, I would say one little story which happened once. It was a Kadashi, like usually in a manner you get kind of feast for a Kadashi, and all of us, like wondering what we get, what you didn't get, and she will simply sit with us, even though she cannot honor all of the items. She will sit with us and she will look in the preparation, and she will see one mashed potatoes preparation, another chips preparation. She will say, simultaneously oneness and difference. Imagine what was in her mind. For us, most of us, at least for me that time maybe was if I get all preparation. And she was thinking about philosophy, Chinta Beda Beda Tattva. So as she is, person who remember Krishna, always it's in her heart, and she's in everything him. And another, like now I'm staying in Soho Street, I also would like to express our gratitude to her. Many devotees, we came 5 people from there who wanted to celebrate and express our gratitude to her service and giving us opportunity to be able to grow in Krishna consciousness. Many of them are very young, they probably will grow with Krishna consciousness. Some of us not be trained to become more refined human beings by having Krishna consciousness, like myself. So we are very grateful, and I also want to express the especially Rama Shakti Mataji. She sent her garland in Tulasi leaves from Lotus Field of Radhavandhanishvara. and she said she's giving to her a big, big hug. And she said that, please, Mother Kulangana, take us all back to the spiritual world. As you are already there, please take all of you with you. Please. So I would like to say once again, thank you very much for having opportunity to be here, to know her, to be one of the daughters, even though I don't deserve of her. Thank you very much.
We may not have figured out women gurus, but we definitely have one.